Hi guys, welcome to a brand new channel called the Cubing Cycle, and this is just basically another Rubik's Cube channel. We're going to be featuring all different Rubik's puzzles. We'll do reviews, tutorials. Today is actually going to be a tutorial on this cube right here, the Rubik's 3x3. So, I bet a lot of you have one of these at home, and you don't know how to solve it, and you're just dying to get it to look like this again, and it probably looks something like this. So what we're doing today is we are going to get you from this to this. Now, Rubik's has made their own little pamphlets, and they call it You Can Do the Cube, but when I was first learning to solve it, I found that it was slightly helpful. It got me to learn the algorithm, so when I watched a video, I could understand it, but it still wasn't super helpful. So for today, we're showing you how to solve the 3x3. So if you don't know what like R and R prime and all that stuff is, then in this channel we're going to be featuring several different cubes, mainly the WCA puzzles, but we are going to be including some of those different puzzles like the gear ball, but mainly WCA, and we're going to include Scube because that's become a bigger event, but Pyraminx is a WCA puzzle as well. But that's not what we're doing today. Today, what we are going to be doing is the 3x3. So, we are going to go over that, but it's going to be very brief. So, but now on the side, you'll see annotations right along here, and you can skip to a certain part of the video if you already know how to do the parts before it. So, here is briefly some stuff about the cube. So, the centers cannot be interchanged. The centers are there for good. They don't move or anything. You can move them away like that, but like red is always going to be opposite orange, yellow is always going to be opposite white, and green is always going to be opposite blue. So that's what we mainly look at for the 3x3. And it's not the same with the 4x4, but we're not really going into that right now. But so the centers can't be moved around. So that's how we're going to base this. And then the edges are those pieces right there, the pieces with two different colors. So every single piece you see on your cube with two different colors is an edge. And those edges cannot be switched around with corners. Edges can't be switched around with centers. And then the corners are the pieces with three different colors on them. There are only 8 corners total, no matter what kind of cubed puzzle it is. There are only 8 corners on this, and then there are 12 edges. Now, edges do vary on the different puzzles. Like this one, it's got 4 edges to make one single edge. That one's got 3, that one's got 2, 1. But let's get started. So the first stage that we're going to do is building the white cross. So in order to build the white cross, you see we already have one edge here, and I'm gonna pop another one in. So now we've got 2, and I'm doing this fast for a reason. So I did not do it correctly, and the reason is, so we have the cross, you can see, but what we do not have is the cross being correct. So we have those two matching up right there, and that's what we want. We want the edge to match up there and there. So it's not matching up there, so we have to move that somewhere else. So that because we know that red is always opposite orange, and that is white orange, we know that that is going to be opposite that one. So this one right here is supposed to go there, and how we're going to do that is we're going to move this down so that way it's out of place, and then we're going to move that in and then bring it back up. So now that's messed up, but if we just turn it once to line up, so now that's lined up with that, and that is lined up with that. If you would like us to go more in depth in one of the steps, we will go more in depth with that step. But so this one right here, this edge that we have right here, is actually already in place. So now we just have that one right there. So how are we going to get that to there? Well, we're going to rotate it like that, and then we're going to rotate that up like that, and then we can bring that up. So now none of them are in the right spots, but if we turn it 90 degrees on the top layer, then we'll have them all in their correct spots. So now we have to put the corners into place to build our first face. So I see that corner is the white, blue, and red corner. So I'm going to find the white, blue, and red slot. We have white right there, so it'll match up there, blue, and red. So how are we going to get it from here to here? Well, this algorithm, you don't really have to memorize it. If you just keep on doing it, it works better as muscle memory. So, but I will tell you what the algorithm is to get it out of that spot. So this algorithm will get it from here to here without messing up your cross. During the algorithm, your cross will be messed up, but once the algorithm is complete, your cross will be all back where it needs to be. So the algorithm is R prime, D, R, D prime. So that last D prime is optional. You don't need to do it. You'll notice that we now have that there. And we're going to rotate it on the bottom layer twice. I reference to that layer as D for down. But now, how are we going to get that into there? Well, you can use this algorithm, D prime, R prime, D, R. And that'll get that in place. Or another option that you have, this one, instead of 4 moves, it's 3. It's F, D, F prime. So either one of those works. You can get that corner into place. But now see, that matches up there, and it matches up along there and there. So but for example, if we just put that corner into place, it matches up there, but not there and there. And we want these things to be in the right spot, or else it'll end up looking how it did before. So, now we can just keep going around and putting these edges into place. Or, not edges, sorry, corners. But now, so to get that corner up there, we're going to use the algorithm. So to get it from that spot right there all the way up there, we're going to do R prime, D, R. So that'll get it into place. And you really don't need these algorithms. I'm just telling you them just so you have them. But it's really easy. Once you start solving the cube a couple of times, you get the main idea and you can easily start to do this. So we're going to put that one into that spot, we're going to do F prime, D prime, F. So that'll get that into place. And now we've got this one on the bottom. So how are we going to get it from the bottom all the way up to there? Well, what I like to do is I like to rotate it under the spot where we want it to go. And then the algorithm looks like this. So it's F, which will bring that corner out, and then I do D prime, F prime. So that way our cross isn't messed up. Same with the corners. And now that corner's out of where it was before. And now we can put it into that slot right there. So we're going to go R prime, D, R prime, or R, sorry. Alright. So now, once you've gotten that, we are now ready to move on to the middle layer. And in the middle layer, we use 2 different algorithms. They're going to be on the bottom of the screen and at the top of the screen. So we're going to have both of those there at the entire time of this stage. Here's how we're going to do this. So you've already gotten this. It kind of looks like a mini T on all of the sides. Some of your edges might already be in place, some of them might not be. You might have edges in place, but that's not where they're supposed to go. So, here is the algorithm that you're going to want to use to get an edge from there to there. So this is the red, green edge, and if this were flipped around and it was green, red, then we'd want to line it up with the green. We want to line the color up with its center like that, and then have that other color on the bottom. So if we want it to go from the bottom across one to the left and up without messing up this is the algorithm you are going to need. D, L, D, L prime, D prime, F prime, D prime, F. So that might seem like a very long algorithm to memorize, but I have somewhat of a mnemonic device to help with that, and that is in the in-depth video on the second stage. So if you want to go check that out, that'll give you an easy way to remember that step. Because when I was first learning to solve the cube, I knew that step was... So now, if we need it to go to the right one and up, then this is the algorithm that we're going to need. So we want to line it up with its corresponding center again, and then to get it to go to the right, it's basically the same algorithm, just somewhat backwards. So it's D prime, R prime, D prime, R, D, F, D, F prime. So now you'll notice that that edge wasn't messed up, that top side's not messed up, and we got that edge into place there. So you want to keep using that algorithm, so this one's got to go across once and up to the right. So we want to go D prime, R prime, D prime, R, D, F, D, F prime. So now we've just got one more, and then we're on to the dreaded last layer. So to get that last one into place, it's got to go across to the right one and up one. So we're going to go D prime, R prime, D prime, R, D, F, D, F prime. So congratulations, you have completed the first two layers of the Rubik's Cube, and now we are on to the last layer. Okay, so for the last layer, to get all of these yellow, they're not in the right place, but to get them all yellow, we use two different algorithms. It's just two, and they're both very simple to memorize. One of them seems very long, but once you do it a couple times, you'll realize that it's really easy to do. And the other one's only like 6 moves. So these are both pretty easy. However, to orient the pieces on the last layer, those we only use 2 more algorithms, but they are much, much longer. And they are pretty easy to memorize. One of them's easier with a mnemonic device, though. But without further ado, let's get started. So you want to look at your top layer, and you want to recognize what color we're going to be getting here. So in this case, I know that it's going to be yellow because I have a yellow center. And another way you could do it is knowing that the opposite of white is yellow. So we're going to be getting yellow on that side. So you want to look at the cube, and you want to be able to recognize. Right now we're just working on getting the yellow cross. And we want to get the yellow cross without messing up what we've done before, so we need these algorithms. So what you have to do is to get your cross, there are going to be, I believe, 3 different cases you're going to have. You're either going to have 2 that are right next to each other that are already there, or you're going to have 2 that are across from each other, or like that. Or you're not going to have any. So if you have the 2 that are next to each other, then you hold it like this so it looks like a backwards L, position it on the U layer, and do this algorithm. F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. So you'll notice none of that is messed up, and we have our yellow cross. And we just happen to have 2 corners. So the other 2 cases where you have 2 across from each other, you just do the same algorithm, but you do it twice. And then if you don't have any at all, then you do the same algorithm either 2 times or 3 times. Most of the time it's going to be 2, but sometimes you'll have that rare occasion where you get it 3 times. So now we want to get all of our corners there. So we have the completed yellow face. So the algorithm to get these into place, you're probably going to want to check out our 3rd stage in-depth video for this, because it does a lot better job of explaining this last part, but you want to do this algorithm. So if you have 2 corners in place and 2 corners are out, you want one of the out of place corners in the bottom left hand corner, and you want to do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, 2, R prime. So that's one of the algorithms that I said was longer, but it's easy to memorize. So the next part is you're either not going to have any corners in place, or you're going to have what looks like a little fish. If you have the little fish, then you want to have the fish's head in the bottom left-hand corner. Then you want to look at those 2, and you want to make sure you have no, in this case, yellow there. You don't want to have any yellow. But we have that right there, so we're going to do the same algorithm again. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, 2, R prime. So we're going to get another fish, but this time we're going to have a yellow right there. And that's a good sign. That means that after doing this algorithm one more time, we will have the yellow face. Yellow face. And so we're going to do it one more time. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, 2, R prime. So now, congratulations, you've gotten almost all of the cubes solved. So now, the next part to this video is corner orientation. We already have 2 corners oriented, and sometimes you won't have any corners oriented. That means you'll just have to do this algorithm twice. But the algorithm to swap these 2 corners around so they're oriented correctly, I'll show you it in just a second, but you want to have the 2 corners that are already oriented correctly, and you want to have them in the back of you. So, here's the algorithm. R prime, F, R prime, back to R, F prime, R, back to R2. So now, we have all 4 corners oriented, and it's time to permute our edges. So edge permutation, there's 1 algorithm, maybe 2. You can choose to use 2 if you want to, and they're really not that different, but I'll show you an easier way to do this. So if you want to go into our 4th stage in-depth video, that would be great. I would highly recommend that. I would recommend checking all these out, maybe just skimming through just so you can pick up extra pieces of information. But so in this case we have a 3 cycle. So what we want to do with this 3 cycle, I know that needs to go there, that needs to come across here, and that needs to go down there. So I'm going to do this move. F2, and then you can do either U prime or U. I'm going to be doing U because that makes those 2 match up, and that's what we want. So here it is again. F2, U, L, R prime, F2, L prime, R, and then in this case it's going to be U. If we had did U prime, we would have just done another U prime, but it's U, F2. And now you have a solved 3x3 Rubik's Cube. I hope you like it. Please tell your friends, comment, subscribe, like, and we would really like this channel to grow. The bigger we grow, the more videos we're going to make. So, please tell your friends, and we will see you next time.